Hello, hello, hello. This is week 5 of Art and Design Module 2, Functional Photography, your homework. This is the last week that you'll be doing photography. The next 5 weeks of this unit is based on drawing portraits. You have been studying photography so that you can take your own photographs to draw from. So I'm hoping after today's lesson you'll have some good portraits to be able to draw from in the next few weeks. So let's jump into the lesson itself. So my first question to you today is, what is the difference between these 5 pictures? So a lot of you'll be thinking there is no difference, they're all the same lady. Well, they are all the same lady. Some might be thinking, oh, the backgrounds are different colours. The difference is the amount of light and the type of light that is on her face. And from your left to your right, as you look at it, it gets more shadow on the face towards the right as you move from left to right. So therefore, today our learning objective is to learn about and to practice the lighting of a portrait photograph. So I'm going to use it with the help of this video that I've cut up into chunks so that you can actually listen to a chunk at a time, so you don't have to watch it all in one go, followed by me commenting on it. So over to the first section of the video.
We're going to start this episode with my favorite light, the up light, aka campfire lighting. Don't do this. In this video, I'm going to explain the 5 primary key light patterns and the why or purpose behind each of them. My name is Pi, and I'm one of the founders of Lynn and Jersa Photography and SLRlounge.com. We're teaming up with Adorama to bring you a new series of photography tutorials called Master Your Craft right here on Adorama TV. So let's dive in. This video is all about the key or the main light positions when it comes to portraiture. Now, I want you to keep in mind throughout watching this video that you can utilize studio lighting to create these lighting setups in the studio, but the exact same thing applies in any natural light situation. The only difference is you're just going to move your subject and your camera position to create these different patterns of light. So let's jump in. This video is all about the positioning of our key light, or the main light that we're using to light our portrait subjects. Keep in mind that what you're going to see here is demonstrating light positioning in the studio, but the exact same thing applies when you're shooting on location or utilizing natural light. The only difference when utilizing natural light is you're just going to shift your subject and your camera positioning to change the lighting pattern on your subject's face. So with that said, let's dive first into this slide from Lighting 1. This video is all about the details within this slide, so don't worry about the details. Right now, I want you to think of one thing. As you look at the diagram, all we're trying to say here is on the left side of this diagram, we have less shadows. And as we push to the right side, we're going to introduce more shadows. This is as simple as it gets. Shadows equals drama. So as we want more dramatic and edgy portraits, we're going to push towards lighting patterns on the right side. And as we want more soft and flattering images, we're going to move towards the left side of our diagram. We're going to...
So in this PowerPoint, I've included the video slide that they've talked about on the video for you to go back and have a look at it as many times as you like. And along the top it tells you the different types, gives you the examples in the picture, and it gives you a little bit about each one below and above each hoop. So we're going to watch learn all about lighting style 1.
To the first lighting pattern, and that's flat lighting. And for that, it's stick figure time. So look, when we light from the same direction as our camera, here's my amazing camera on its tripod so that you can see that this is a sideways angle, and here is our beautiful subject. I don't know what they're wearing. When we place that light and it comes directly from the source of our lens, and that light fires onto our subject, this could be a on-camera flash. It could be light that's behind us, say for example, a large window light or the sky behind us. But whenever that light source enters from the same direction as our lens, it's referred to as flat lighting. A flat light's purpose is to cast minimal shadows. And as that, a soft or a large flat light source is going to be one of the most flattering light sources that you can put on your subject, because it will fill all the lines and the imperfections in the skin. Because of this, it's used often for beauty or fashion work. So that's a flat light. To the first light.
So a flat light, as you said, minimizes the shadows, makes the skin look very glamorous. And as you said, also, it could be a flash that's actually on your camera. And there's the position, so you can refer back to this later. And there's the person. So the next one is your butterfly lighting.
Next, we have a butterfly or a paramount light, which is actually similar to flat lighting. The difference is we're going to move this light source up. This means that if we were using an on-camera flash or a ring flash, it now has to come off the camera. But this is when our light source is essentially still coming directly from the angle of the lens, but now we're lighting top down into our subject's face. Butterfly lighting is characterized by those shadows that are created directly under facial features, and most notably the butterfly shape that comes under the nose, and that's where it gets its name. Now here's a little interesting fact. So its nickname, Paramount Lighting, actually comes from the movie studio. So Paramount actually used to use this lighting setup to frequently shoot their talent. So it became kind of known as Paramount Lighting, and they would typically use a beauty dish which casts kind of these hard and defined shadows under facial features. It's a very interesting lighting pattern. When it comes to drama, Paramount or butterfly lighting adds a little bit more drama, but it's still going to be flattering because the light source is still coming directly from the angle of the lens, and because of that, we're still feeling the details and lines and pores in the face. Next, we have
So that was butterfly lighting, and it's the same as direct lighting, only that instead of being on the same level as the camera, it's up and above the camera. You could do that by getting your subject to look up into a window light, and you with the window light behind the camera. And here's your diagram. So if they were looking up into the window light, it would be the same as you actually placing a light there, but you equally could use a lamp to do that. So let's go back to Pi for the next bit of his video.
Third, we have loop lighting. Now this is where we're going to go to a top-down image, and you're going to see my drawing skills improve dramatically. So here's our subject standing here. This is a top-down view, and they have like this crazy stubble coming off the back of their head. And here's their nose. We can't see their eyes because they're deep set Persian eyes like mine. So we just see a nose, a big Persian nose. Okay, so our light source, or our camera, first of all, is going to be right here. And loop lighting is characterized when we start pushing the direction of light a bit off camera. So now we're kind of moving the light source about 20 to 50 degrees off camera, and that light source is still coming from above, but just angled in on the face. We're not quite over to Rembrandt lighting yet. This is kind of that in between. So loop lighting is characterized because we sort of cast a shadow off the nose, but it doesn't extend all the way to the edge of the face. So we're not kind of closing off that triangle like we would see in Rembrandt. We're just getting a little bit more shadows, introducing a little bit more drama with the shot.
So I've added this picture of the model so it's easier for you to see. So the loop, the shadow he was talking about is this shadow here that's called the loop, and that's why it's called loop lighting.
Third,
you can see it here as well. So the light is above the subject again, and it's to the side, but not right to the side. So it's not right at the side of the model or subject. You just need, if you're using a window, you just need to get them to just turn their head till they get the right pattern and look up, to get this shape on their face. Just be aware not everyone's face will throw the same shadow, so it looks different on different models. And here you can see the where he's said to put the light in relation to the camera, and you can see that you could actually move the face as opposed to move the light. So let's look at lighting number 4.
Next, let's talk about Rembrandt lighting. So if this was loop right here, Rembrandt lighting would be shifted over just a bit more so that when we light across, and this is going to depend on the size of the nose, you know what? So if you got a larger nose, you might need a less severe angle than for those that have small. I'm just saying, watch for the noses. So this Rembrandt lighting, and we're going to just title this R, is going to cast a little triangle highlight on the other side of the face while lighting up the entire portion of the right side of the face if the Rembrandt light were on this side. This visually interesting key light pattern was named after the painter Rembrandt, who would often use this lighting pattern within his portraits. And to this day, it still remains one of our favorite lighting patterns for photographers in general, and honestly for myself as well. It's probably my favorite go-to lighting pattern. I just find it very visually compelling, and the shadows are super nice. We can control the drama with that fill light and the depth of those shadows.
So again, I've added this model to the end of this video, so it's a little bit clearer, but here is the triangle that he's talking about. So it hits the cheekbone and it also lights up the other eye. So both eyes have got lights on them. This side of the face, if the light is coming from this side, will be lit up. If it's coming from this side, then it'll be completely the opposite thing. Again, you can do this in a window, but you just need to move the model's face, your subject's face around.
Next, let's talk.
As you can see here, this is this triangle on this one here. And you've got both eyes have still got light in them. So there we are. And just a reminder about where the Rembrandt light source should be placed. So let's go on to the last set of lighting that we're going to talk about.
Finally, we have split lighting. So now split lighting is when we bring that light source over to the right side, and I'm going to label this S, and this is where the light is coming from one side. And as we see in the image, this lighting pattern is characterized by that split that we get right across the face and the nose, where one half of the face is in the light and one half is in the shadow. I've been talking a lot about noses. It's okay. It's going to be fine. So use this technique and use this main light pattern to create drama in your photographs. Don't use it because you want flattering portraits, because that's just not what you're gonna get. Use it because you want to show the contrast between light and dark, and it makes for a lot of really cool conceptual work, specifically when you want to show shadows. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
So I've added this picture at the end of this video just to show you what split lighting could look like. This one in particular works really well. You can still see that he's got a little catchlight in his eyes. That makes him look like he's still really lively. But the whole of this side of face is in shadow. It's all split lit. Really dramatic.
Finally, we have...
Not so dramatic on this one, but you can still see that half her face is in shadow. And just remember, you'd move the light source or move the model's face so the light was hitting the side of her face or his face. So let's just have a quick recap. So this is your flat light. As you can see, this would be some kind of fashion or maybe cosmetics industry kind of photograph. It makes the skin glow and it makes everything look really, really smooth and quite beautiful. And this is your butterfly lighting. So your lighting's at the same angle as the camera but higher up, and this is the butterfly shadow under the nose here, and it also casts this shadow under the chin as well. This is your loop lighting, where you've got the shadow of the nose to one side. As you can see, they're getting more dramatic. It's a real standout picture. these are 3 examples of Rembrandt light on different skins and different genders. So there's a triangle of light here, triangle of light there, and a triangle of light here. And that's what you're trying to get on your Rembrandt light. And then this is often, when I was researching this, a lot of the split lighting portraits are done in black and white. This one's just stood in it's really dramatic. So why have I told you about all this? So what I want you to do this week, I'd like you to produce a series of 4 photographs of people's faces, head and shoulder portraits. They don't all have to be the same person, so it could be different people, but equally you could try it on the same person. And try and use window light if you can, because it'll be better photographs. But if you can't and the weather's poor, you can use a lamp of some kind to do it with. Try and avoid using your on-phone flash. And try and recreate some of these lighting patterns you've looked today. So you've got a series of 4 portraits to hand in via Show My Homework. If you want to watch how to do it with a window light, this is a really good video link here that you can use, and that goes through the same techniques that you've already learned but shows you how to reproduce them in a window light situation. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you've done. Give it a good go. Lighting is very, very tricky. It's just about practice though. So look forward to seeing your work through Show My Homework, and you guys take care, and I shall see you in next week's homework.